Hey, aloha everyone. We are live. Welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show. I'm your host, Savvy, and I'm the founder of Gimme a Break, which is a nonprofit organization that's caring for you, caregivers. That's what we do. We're here to bring back the joy of caregiving, and each week we help caregivers to survive. I know that sounds like a crazy word, doesn't it? Survive. Why do I say that? Well, because the current statistic is that 50% of caregivers do not survive. 50% of caregivers will pass before the one they're caring for. That's not acceptable, folks. We have to change that statistic. And so we're here to help you survive. We're here to focus on your wellness and your self-care. That's what Gimme a Break is all about. And we know you're tired. Boy, are you frustrated, right? So that's what this show is all about. We're connecting you to resources, and Gimme a Break is here for you. We do offer a break right off the bat. You can come to our support sessions, and we call them sessions because they're not really like a support group where you sit there and, hi, my name is Abby, I'm a caregiver. That's not what we do. We're really just providing a safe space for caregivers where you can join a community of caregivers just like you, and we talk. We talk, we cry. Last night we did facials. It was awesome. How do I look, by the way? Nice skin, right? And so for those of you on audio, I look fabulous. And that's what we do. We make sure that we give you all kinds of cues, all kinds of education, and share points with one another about self-care and wellness to survive that statistic. So you can go on and check out our website, gab808.org, and get more information right there. Also, our sessions are Tuesday evenings on Zoom at 8 p.m. You can go right onto our website and click right onto the session. We'd love to have you join us. I know it's a difficult time for those of you, and thank you, that do tune in from the East Coast. And even sometimes from the West Coast. Gets a little late at night, I know, but thank you for doing that, and we enjoy having you on when you do join us, and maybe one day we'll do an earlier one just for those on the continental US. Every caregiver needs these. You guys need to join us, so get on there. Last night, and we're talking about the wellness wheel. So we're going through all the little stops on the wellness wheel. We did physical wellness, and emotional wellness was what we talked about last night. Before that, we talked about social wellness, and we really kind of deep dive into ways that you can do that. You get activities to work on through the week that I provide for you. And we're going to be we discussed financial wellness, which is why I brought on a guest that we'll talk about later in the show today, because your financial wellness is really important as a caregiver. You need that. And of course, I wanted to share with you from last night. Let's see if I can add this to the stream. There you go. There we are. So we had a lot of fun. I know you will be listening in on podcast. You won't be able to see this, but basically we've got a bunch of us on the screen who have clay masks on, and we did a little pamper spa, mini spa moment. And so I want to send my shouts and thanks out to Taryn Mora. Taryn, thank you so much for sharing with us and giving us she mailed everyone a little packet. And then we all individually, right on Zoom, were able to have a spa moment together. And it was just a blast. So tune in. You never know what fun things we're going to do. Okay, so this is the Caring Caregiver Show, and it's sponsored by Givers Guides Magazine. You know, you guys, I talk about Givers Guides Magazine all the time because Givers Guides is our for-profit magazine. It's our for-profit business. Givers Guides Magazine subscriptions at $24.99. It's like nothing, right? 12 issues. That helps to fund Give Me a Break and what we do for caregivers. Nobody's getting a salary here, and no one's getting paid. We just cover the basic expenses, and all profits move to Give Me a Break. And also, Givers Guides does sponsor this Caring Caregiver Show. So it's a great magazine because it's from a caregiver's point of view. All the writers are caregivers. Everyone in the magazine is a caregiver. We share a caregiver story every issue. You really need it. Just go to giversguides.com and get your subscription, and know that you're not only getting something for you as a caregiver, but you're helping support a nonprofit that is doing a lot for caregivers, and you may be able to benefit from things that we do as well. All right, that's enough gabbing. It is June 28th. Man, where did this month go? We are in our 9th season, and we are streaming live on 9 platforms. I'm super, super happy about that. Can I get a wahoo? Yes. We're on 5 different Facebook platform pages. We're on 2 different YouTube channels, and of course on LinkedIn, Twitter, and right here on StreamYard, which is our main streaming platform. And I'm really, really proud to mention that StreamYard does an amazing job of putting us out there for you folks. This past Sunday, by the way, was National Hydrate Day. And so caregivers, I know you're not hydrating enough. So I want you all to take a moment right now and go and get your bottle of water. And I want you to hydrate. I want you to take a little sip of water and take a breath. Go do it now. It's okay. You're going to miss a little bit, but go do it now. I'm going to do it too. I'm going to take my bottle. I'm going to drink. And I actually have my Axio in here. But those of you that don't know what that is, you can always contact us later, and I can tell you more about that. But that's my brain food. And so just drink water. Make sure you're hydrating. It's going to help you by lowering your chances of developing dementia. I'm sorry, I forgot what I just said. What was that? Yes. I'm going to be a 3rd generation here. My grandmother now passed away at 104. She was a week away from her 105th birthday, and she passed away from complications due to her dementia. My mother, as you all know, is currently in the final stages of dementia and in hospice. And I'm watching how that goes, and I don't want to go there. So I'm going to do everything I can, and I think all of you should, to prevent those things. It's becoming one of the largest known diseases now. It's actually taking more people, and more people are dying by complications from dementia-related diseases, and it's taking over cancer. So drink some water. There you go. Such an easy thing to do, right? Just drink a little water and hydrate. Okay, so speaking of hydrating, our first guest today actually is the author of a book and hosts a podcast, Surviving Alzheimer's with Friends, Facebook, and speaking of hydrating, a really big glass of wine. And I love her tagline. There's a tagline that I noticed on her website. It says, "Welcome to the job you never signed up for or trained for, caregiver." So here to help us navigate what is best for the one you love and for you, finances, living arrangements, that crazy thing that happens, where you go, what to do, who to call, and more. We can find out from this wonderful book, Surviving Alzheimer's. Please, excuse me. There we go. That's what I got for drinking water. I remembered, but my throat got itchy. So please welcome our Radio Hall of Famer, Dana Steele, to the show. Welcome, Dana. I am so excited to have you and so honored. I just love your book. I've been reading it.
Oh, thank you.
And I just chuckle and I read it, and it really gets me through. So thank you for that. And of course, what I ask all of our guests when they come on is to share a little bit about your caregiving story, but your whole book's about your caregiving story.
Well, it is. You know, when my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I called, I called my husband, I called my kids, I called my uncle, I called my nieces, my brother. I couldn't say one more time, Mom has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So I took the chicken way out. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to post it on Facebook. That's kind of like a community for me. I'm just going to post it and hope it doesn't make her friends mad, and that, they'll spread the word. And I just posted it. I let go of it. It actually made me feel oddly better to just kind of write it, type it, be done with it. Yeah. And the next morning I woke up to hundreds of messages. And they weren't, the majority of them were not condolences. Well, they were, but it was my mother, my father, my grandmother, my aunt, my uncle, my spouse. And I thought, damn, I'm an intelligent, well-read, well-traveled woman. I've written 15 books. Why am I at a total loss on where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing? And if this many people around me have been through Alzheimer's, why the hell isn't anyone talking about it? Because I don't know where to even start.
Yeah, I agree. A 10 million %. I agree. And that's true. I think it's amazing that you did that, though. I think that posting it, putting it out there like that, granted, it was because you didn't want to have to deal with individuals. But you know what? I think that really shows that Facebook can be really positive.
Well,
You know,
it
and
can, and
it
it
can be
became
negative
for the
too.
next 2.5 years. It was, I tell people find a support group, whether it's you online, whether it's at your local religious affiliation. Most hospitals have a weekly meeting. My meeting just happened to be on Facebook, and when I didn't know where to go, I'd go to Facebook. First time I laughed at something she did, and I felt so guilty, I went to Facebook. When I was crying and just felt like I needed just some love, I
Yeah.
would go to Facebook. But I've always dealt with hard things with humor. And that's what this turned into was, even though it was 2.5 years of Alzheimer's, what we did is we summed up all of those posts in the book, and we took the ones that were the funniest. We took the ones that were the most poignant. We took the ones that were most informative. One of my favorite stories was, when I was having a really bad night one night, this woman told me, "Oh, yeah, I walked in on my grandmother and she was watching hardcore porn." And she was like, I didn't know what to do. I just kind of stood there. And then when, they went to break or whatever they do in porn, her grandmother turned around and said, they have never done this on The Young and the Restless before. And, you just kind of, and you just kind of go over there and you change the channel. And, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so you have to laugh, and
You have to. It's
you
the
have
only
to
way
have
to
a
really get through
community.
it.
So what you're doing is really special.
Yeah. There's really no other way to kind of get through all of that. It's just, and it's so funny as I learned to understand what really was happening in her brain, my mother's brain, and she has Lewy body dementia, and so it's like a
Mm.
cloudy day, right? And it's really funny. There would be times when she would be sitting up in bed, and my alarm that I had would go off that she was trying to get out of bed. I'd run in there, and she would be moving and going, and I says, "Hey, Mom, how you doing? What are you doing?" She says, "Oh, I can't you see I'm dancing with your father?" And she was dancing with my dad, and she had no idea. It was very real to her, and I let her do it for a while, and then I said, "Okay, you two, it's time for sleep now, so I know you guys want to dance the night away, but we got doctor's appointments tomorrow morning, so everyone needs to go to bed now." And she would go to sleep.
But you were living in her world. It,
Yes.
it took me a long time to quit arguing with Mom when she would say,
Yeah.
"I played tennis last week." And I would say, "You haven't played tennis for 20 years. I learned to go, "How was your game? What was the score?" Because, as gone as
We
she
all learn that.
was, she could still tell me about tennis, and she could tell
Yeah.
me what her score was, and she could tell me about her. So
Yeah.
you just go,
It's so real because it's a vivid memory that sort of pops into their head, and they live it for that moment. And it was, I'm like you, it took me a while to really fully understand that. And, I think that that's one of the reasons too why I wanted this kind of education out there, is that so the more right? That what you don't know. And the more you know, the easier it is for you to cope with things that are happening. And that's why I love your book, because it really does kind of address things in just little snippets. And there's so much humor that you can kind of cope with it, and I love the photos. I go, "Oh, here of your mom. It's so cute." Um, it just great. So
well, and it was, not only is it's the first half of it is the post. The second half is everything I wish I had known:
yeah,
legal, medical, assisted living, long-term care insurance, all these things that were foreign to me. And I mean, I was a rock and roll DJ who went into business and had become a business speaker and wrote business books. I mean, I was taken care of financially, but I had no idea what was coming.
yeah, yeah, and no one does, I think. And so having that resource is also, I was going to get to that too. And the book is an amazing thing. But share with us one of your favorite stories. What was one of your favorite stories? I know
Oh,
you probably get asked this all the time. So
um, it's like asking me who my favorite rock star is. I can tell you who my favorite kid is, but I can't tell you who my favorite rock star is. Um,
yeah, that's hard to pick.
because we've taken so many of the favorite stories, and the
Right.
book is now a play called The Woman in the Mirror.
Yes.
Um,
Let's talk about that then.
That's probably one of the favorite stories, even though it's not a happy, funny story. But, my mom kept complaining about this woman coming into her room. And I mean, it was just she was leaving notes as, "Make this woman stop, blah, 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 blah." My mom's like, I think Post-it Notes needs to sponsor my play, and 3M, if you're listening, because there's Post-it Notes all over the stage. My mom put Post-it Notes on everything.
Everyone knows me. I am a Post-it note queen.
Well, and we'll never know when you have Alzheimer's because you have Post-it notes everywhere anyway.
That's okay.
But I don't even know where I was going with that story. But she kept complaining, and we just figured it was one of the, it's one of the nurses. Or when we were fortunate that we were able to put her in a safe, good facility towards the end. So we figured it was either a nurse or another resident who just roam in and out. And one day she and I were I said, come on, let's go wash our hands. It's time to go eat. Let's go wash our hands. And we're standing in the bathroom. We're washing our hands. And she goes, there she is. There's the woman who won't get out of my room. And yeah, that look on your face right now, I was like, holy bad word. The woman is her. The woman in the mirror is the woman who keeps coming in her room. And
Wow.
I mean, she was getting more angry, and she was leaving more. So I started bringing fake rent checks. And because she would leave notes, the woman's not paying rent. So I would make out a check to her because I knew she couldn't deposit it anywhere. So I would just make out a check, and every once in a while when I would come, I would bring her a rent check, and she would go, oh, okay. And then later on I'd say, you want me to put that in the bank for you? And she'd go, oh yeah. And then I would bring the same check back the next day, and that went on for a while. But you never know. I guess another story that was one of my favorites is, and you'll have to go look it up. And if it offends you, I apologize. But my mother lived next door to Frank Beard and his wife Debbie. Frank's the drummer for ZZ Top, and they all became very good tennis buddies, good friends. And one day, my mom strung high-end pearls for 37 years, and one day she goes, I just heard the new ZZ Top record, and Frank said they wrote a song for me. And I was like, which song, Mom? And she goes, Pearl Necklace. And if you know what that is right now, you're cracking up. And if you don't, go look it up. You'll go, ew. But I wasn't going to tell her. So until the day she died, she believed ZZ Top wrote the song Pearl Necklace for her.
Oh, that's precious. That's precious, though, right? And so at least she had those wonderful positive memories. I was surprised how many of my mom's memories were tied into food. She loved food, so they were tied into food memories. And she would be sitting there holding food and imaginary eating it. And so it's just fun. Yeah, it's so funny that they have these little pops of memory, and now of course there's no memory or anything. But I think if we know this and if we're educated to it, even while you're going through it, if you can learn caregivers, then you can enjoy the moments a little bit more. You can have more joy in dealing with it on a daily basis and not take it so seriously and not get so upset about it, but have yourself a memory that's happy and laughing and joyful and not something that becomes a negative.
The guilt will really eat you alive. I mean, we had all of her finances were in order. Everything was in order, except I never asked the question, well, if you become incapacitated, where would you like to live? Because you can't live in my multi-story house that's extremely dangerous for those of us without Alzheimer's. Right. And so having to put her in a care home,
that was hard.
And she was a violent and angry Alzheimer's patient towards the end. But it took me a long time, probably what I do with the play, what I do with the book, what I hope to do. The podcast actually won't start until September. And what I do with the weekly videos I put on Instagram is not only am I helping others, but it has gotten me through my guilt that, you know what, I did do the right thing. I did, it's like when you have a kid, they put that kid in your hands and send you to your car without a manual.
You have no idea what to do.
Yeah. And then 21 years later, your kids tell you how screwed up they are because of you. Right. And it's like, there's not a manual.
Do my best. Yeah. What are you going to do? I know.
Do your best.
And that's such a great point. It's so true. And we actually, in our sessions, we actually do we do a 10-week program in our sessions that cover caregiver guilt. And there's so many layers of it, and there's so much that you carry that some caregivers aren't even sure. And that's a whole nother show, literally, that we could talk about caregiver guilt. But doing things like what you are doing do release that. And I think that's why, the book is great in that it really helps that initial release and laughter and coming to terms with it. And you're going to love your podcast, because for me, this helps me heal too, right? Meeting everyone, finding out I'm not alone. It's so important. But I'm really excited about your play. And now, where and when is that going to happen?
We had a little break between regular COVID and Omicron COVID, where we were able to stage it for 10 days in Houston to rave reviews. We actually hired an actress. She was perfect for the part. And the day rehearsal started, she dropped out because her mother was diagnosed with, wait for it, Alzheimer's. So I had to step in and play myself, which has been really weird. But there was a Broadway producer in the audience one night. He loved it. So we have a producer, I have a Broadway manager, I have a Broadway director.
Awesome.
But Broadway is kind of screwy right now. People aren't coming back in droves to New York. They're coming back, but it's taking a while. So what we're going to do is turn the play into an audio drama, 6 episodes. So that will be the beginning of the podcast. And
I love that.
Air beginning in September, World Alzheimer's Month. And then from that point on, it will become a regular podcast. But it's called The Woman in the Mirror. And it is a love letter to caregivers. And you will laugh and you will cry. And, it's a dark comedy about Alzheimer's, because, as I like to say, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
That's right. And sometimes you need to do both to get that release. You guys can check it out. Go to thewomaninthemirrorplay.com. That's thewomaninthemirrorplay.com to get more information. And I love that it's going to be audio too, because caregivers can't always be someplace for long periods of time. Having it in audio makes it hearable, even while you're in the depths and chaos of what you're doing. So excited about that. Thank you so much for sharing and being here today. And I feel like I could talk to you all afternoon, and I don't want to keep my next guest waiting, but we'll definitely keep in touch, Dana. And I'm so excited for you, and know that you're not alone. You're now part of a great community of caregivers, and we're all just taking one step at a time and getting there. So enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you so much for being here.
All right. Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Aloha.
Aloha.
Wow. What an incredible person. What an incredible conversation we just had, you guys. And so if you were able to listen to that and be here live, awesome. For those of you listening on audio, you're going to want to hear that over and over again. But it's thewomaninthemirrorplay.com. Check it out. And if you want to get the book, Surviving Alzheimer's, you can just go on to Amazon. I did. You just go on to Amazon and get it. And Surviving Alzheimer's with Friends, Facebook, and a really big glass of wine. So get yourself a big glass of wine, get the book, read it. And I think I know it'll help, because it makes me chuckle. So it'll help you get through a lot of what you're doing. So cheers to you, Dana. Thank you so much. And okay, so just days, July is just days away. We're really close to it. This month has gone by really quickly. And the July issue of, let's see, there we go. The July issue of Giver's Guides will be coming out in just a few days. And this issue is dedicated solely to our Shine a Light for Caregivers walk. Our Shine a Light for Caregivers walk we do to create awareness for caregivers who are in the dark, isolated, feeling alone. And so this is all about shining a light. It's a glow walk. So super fun. You get a glow stick and you walk around, and it's just too much fun. But this issue of our magazine is totally devoted and dedicated to shining a light, to some sort of illumination, to some sort of awareness in your darkness. And so get subscribed, because you'll find light and joy here that will help you get through your day. Articles like Illuminating the Path to Inner Well-Being. I mean, I know that sounds so, etherical, but it's etherical, sorry. Anyway, but it sounds like it's so out there, right? And you know what? It's really not. It's very practical ways for you as a caregiver to take life one step at a time and to put your wellness out there. So get your subscription, go to giversguides.com. There it is, getting it on the screen now, giversguides.com, and get your subscription. Know that it's $24.99 for a full year. And again, operating costs are covered, and the majority of that, the bigger part of that, goes to support Give Me a Break and our mission for what we do for caregivers. So get subscribed, you guys. That's what I can put it out there to you. So important to do, and so important to continue doing the work that we do for caregivers. One of the parts on the wellness wheel is financial wellness. Financial wellness is a really, really important thing in life, especially when you're caregiving. I have talked to more caregivers who have not only lost their jobs because of caregiving, and by the way, that's 65% of caregivers lose their jobs, lose their source of income due to the weight of caregiving. And it gets really tough. So if you're now planning, you need to plan for those stages. You need to plan for that financial future of what's going to happen. Even Dana mentioned that. And my next guests coming up, Lily Chen and Robert Wu, and I'm going to add you in right here. And there's Lily. Hello. So let's see, let's use this one. There we go. And so it's good to have the two of you on. Are from Financial Services Life Insurance. And I had to bring them on today because anyway, we'll share that about why you're here. But caregivers, you need to understand that there are so many wonderful things out there that you may not know about that will help you financially to get through your caregiving. You do not have to, not only for your caregiving that you're taking care of now, but for your own caregiving and planning for that. Welcome, Lily, and welcome, Robert. So nice to have you both here. Hi.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you on. I've been looking forward to you coming on since we talked about this months ago. But I know that each of you have a caregiving story. If you can briefly tell us your caregiving story, maybe we'll start with Lily.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Really. My name is. First of all, I want to introduce myself. Okay, a little bit nervous.
That's my okay.
First time. That's my first time. Yeah. Yeah, my name is Lily Chen, and I came from China, new immigrant. I have never known the Caregiver. Actually, it's a huge organization in the whole United States and in Hawaii. And in my case, I was a single mom, and one time when I get a sickness, and I start to looking for life insurance because I have ever think about it. I need a life insurance because I thought I have a health insurance that's enough for me, right? So when I start to when I get sick, I thought I will die, and what's going to happen to my daughter? Yeah. So I looking for life insurance. I found a lady. She was tell me, "Oh, that life insurance actually you don't have to die to use. If you have some." We just talk about that to talk about the Alzheimer's, right? If you have this kind of critical illness or Alzheimer's, actually, you can use your life insurance and you can get a financial release. That's making me feel, wow, this is something we needed. Definitely, right? We need that. And I start to dig in life insurance industry. And after that, you know what? I work with a lot of caregiver right now. And I heard about their story, their financial, just like you said, 65% of the people actually lose their job because with critical illness. And what they're going to do, if they lose their job and with traditional life insurance, they have to pass away to get the pay.
Yes, you have to die.
Yeah, you have to die. So that's making me feel, why we buy life insurance if we have to die to use? And today with this something called living benefit, and we don't have to die to use, right? So that is something make me feel I have the mission, I have the passion to share with everyone. And recently we just have one caregiver, actually is my customer. She's really young. She lives in Kapolei. And I went to her house. I share with her about this product. And she said, wow, this is something I wanted because every day I in front of all the oldest one. And I always think about if I old one day, how I can afford, or if I need a long-term care, how I can afford. She told me she was really frustrated. So after that, we did provide her this product, and she's able to purchase one, and she's healthy, and she got one. So, and I thought she will have a peace of mind, and she don't have to worry about it, right? But your organization is much needed. Last year, the family called me. She had so much stress still, and she was killed herself.
Oh.
That's make me feel so sad. And they say, you know what? We need to do more. We need to educate them. Don't worry about the future. Just do what you have to do right now. And in financially, with living benefit, we give the right kind of education, and they don't have to worry about it. And your organization actually is really help them release, right? Mentally, we have emotional, we have to release. And financially, we have to have the peace of mind. So that's making me feel we needed to do more and more for this organization.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's why when I spoke with you too, the whole thing with worry, right? Worry will just eat away at you physically. And if you can relieve that worry in some way, especially finances, boy, it'll kill you, right? People think smoking and drinking, but you know what? Worry is just as bad. And so knowing that you can offer peace of mind is such an amazing thing. And, single moms, I was a single mom, and single moms, boy, you got to be tough, and it'll take its toll on you. Robert, what was I think you have your mom as well that you care for, right? Or is she she's in China, I think, right, Robert?
Yes. Oh,
What's
hi,
your
everyone.
story?
First of all, I want to say a few words about myself as a caregiver, and then how we came about. Actually, I was one of you just like a couple years ago. During the COVID, I helped, I contribute to the silent auction. I still remember that. And I was still uh, talking to Savvy about the next auction and getting artwork from China from my auntie. That's how we get connected. Anyhow, my mother is 93 right now. I was visiting her last year for a couple months, and finally we settled her in a nursing home. But she is self-sustaining. She earned a salary that can afford it, and plus a one-to-one caregiver. So our children's responsibility is mostly to watch her on internet and WeChat and so forth. But she is now hospitalized, so we're very our heart goes to her. And here in Honolulu, my mother-in-law is 93, 96, but she is self-sustaining and still cooking and so forth. So it's mostly my wife who is taking care of her mother. So that's part of the reason I'm not participating your Tuesday gathering. I felt I was not that much into this, or in a different form. Okay, so that's about myself, but I'm so happy and to be part. I know, because I talked to Savvy about my visit to 3 states or four states, major cities, learning about the U.S. Senior care. Anyway, my story I like to share is not my personal story, because I want to share something that's really illustrative of our of the what Lily talks about, this the life insurance with the living benefits. The story is about a couple that that were very loving and very well and so forth. it's the lady who was the writer and singer and realtor and breadwinner in a way. She was doing very well, and she was wise to pick up life insurance with living benefit. The story is being shared on YouTube. I send a link to Savvy, and you can look at that video. It's much moving. And basically that breadwinner lady later, because of a strange illness, she got paralyzed. And then she was so wise that her term life insurance has living benefits and premium waiver. Premium waiver meaning that you, for a sickness, you cannot work, and your premium is waived just because you normally have that waiver to, you pay the extra premium. So it ends up this Doak, the man in the video, serving his paralyzed, carrying her, very moving scene. It's 2.5 minutes. You can watch on lifehappens.org. And that's a very, very good story, very illustrative that what life insurance with living benefits can do to the beneficiary, or no, to the owner of the policy.
Yeah, I noticed that. And Robert, actually, I put that link in the comments, folks. So for those of you who are watching live, that link is right there in the comments. And those that tune in later, you can go ahead and click that link and watch that quick YouTube, because I want to talk more about this. I want to talk more about these living benefits. Lily, can you tell me a little bit more about, I know that, and traditional, correct me if I'm wrong, traditional life insurance, like we said, you have to pass before the benefits are given out. And so you never benefit from it personally.
Yes.
You have life insurance.
Mhm.
And it doesn't help the situation when you've got someone you're caring for and they have life insurance, because none of it's going to matter. So that's the difference. Am I correct? Tell me more about that.
Yes, let me just share you a story just happened a few months ago. What happened is one of my clients, actually, she got my life insurance 4 years ago. 4 years ago, it was 500,000 life insurance. And after 4 years, found out she had cancer. As you know, I know if you have cancer, you can survive, right? And she is working in the nail salon, lung cancer. When she go to the hospital, the doctor tell her, you cannot go back to work because the nail salon have a lot of chemical. It's not good for your lung. So now she lost her job. The first thing she is calling me, say, I cannot afford to pay my life insurance. I need to cancel. I said, wait a moment. Our life insurance, we have living benefit. You don't need to cancel your insurance. Now we can help you with our life insurance. She's ready. And I did the claim for her. And the company within 1 month sent her 410,000 cash.
That's amazing.
That's a tax-free, And she was crying. She said, you know what? I thought I lost my job. I have to become a homeless. And today with the money, he don't have to pay rental anymore. She used the money, bought a small condo. And she said, anyway, I have a shelter. I don't have to worry about it. And this is financial release for her. And she is really focusing on her recovery right now. And she's getting really better. Yeah, that is something called living benefit. We don't have to die to use.
Yeah.
So
not everyone offers this, though, right? Not everyone has living benefits. This is not something you can just go to any insurance company for. Am I correct?
Yes. Right now they have already minimum insurance company, maybe have 10 insurance company have living benefit. But that's so different is the living benefit have so many different kind of illness. Just like we talk about Alzheimer. none of the insurance company provided this Alzheimer rider, and we are the only one have Alzheimer and have a critical injury too. And other insurance company, maybe they only have something like a terminal illness. That's it. And we have a full living benefit with any way if the customer, if our client have this kind of issue, we can pay out the benefit.
You know, I had the honor and privilege of going to your offices out there by the airport and sitting through a wonderful, gosh, I can't even call it a presentation. It was just such a sharing. And you had such a great community of people there that I got to meet, and everyone kind of shared. And really, they all had that story to share about how doing the right thing and having the right knowledge and going to the right person makes that big difference. And I think I met Robert first, and that was awesome. And he's been so wonderful. And like you said, Robert, he donated some things to our auction for our gala, and has been such a wonderful relationship I've had with him. And I know him to be an honest and upright person. And he introduced me to everyone there. And I was so amazed at how at ease I felt and how comfortable I felt, that I wasn't being, shim-shammed or flim-flammed or rushed into anything. Everybody was so kind and shared their story. And really having that benefit for caregivers struck such a note with me that's why I really had to bring you on today, so that people know what is out there. And the fact that you have that Alzheimer's rider, I can't even. It's everyone needs to be calling Robert and Lily like today. You guys need to be contacting them now. 808-859-2559. You guys, 808-859-2559. You need to be talking to Lily and Robert like yesterday, right? And not just because of the one you're caring for. And it doesn't even matter if they have life insurance, but also for you. Caregivers, you need to prepare. You guys came to my presentation, saw my presentation. It's on YouTube about your care receiving plan. Talking to Lily and Robert is part of your care receiving plan. Your financial wellness matters, and your wellness means that you're not going to have those worries, right? I'm not missing this mark on this. I'm telling you, this is exactly how I felt walking out of there that day. I was so inspired, and I was so touched by the stories and what has happened, and just having that kind of compassion for people when you're in the life insurance business. I have really appreciated that from both of you.
Thank you very much to have us today. And the last thing I just wanted to mention about was today's life insurance living benefit. Actually, I know a lot of people, you already have life insurance already, and we will provide a free review for you. If the life insurance is still really good, it's okay, just keep it. If we feel we can do something for you, it's a free upgrade. We can help you to upgrade your policy. Of course, each review takes us like 2 to 3 hours. We will provide the free review for everybody. If you can make an appointment, call us, come to our office. Of course, we provide all the coffee, snacks, and the gift for all of the caregiver. Thank you.
Also, both of you will go and meet people too. I know Robert came and met me at a Starbucks. And so I know you guys will go out there and you'll go to people's homes, and your hearts are so in the right place. And I love that, because knowing that if you guys have what you need, Lily's going to tell you, Robert's going to tell you, but if they can help you and get through this, then they will. Yes. And so they're a trusted partner with Give Me a Break, and I highly recommend you call both of them. And so thank you so much for your time today and for joining us. And we're running out of time, but I think we could probably talk all day about this and hours about the wonderful things that you do. But get more detail, you guys. Talk to Lily Chen and Robert Wu, 808-859-2559, or go to lilychen.pfaonline.com and get more information. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for sharing with us today. You're both just so kind, and I appreciate everything that you do for not just your clients, but especially for caregivers. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Aloha.
Yeah, have a nice day. Aloha.
Bye. And I can't emphasize to you guys enough it's so funny. You can go places and talk to people and they can make you feel so uncomfortable or make you feel like, oh God, I shouldn't have come here. I never felt that. And I got to go to their wonderful offices and I got to meet some really great people who could tell you their stories. And so if you need testimonies, trust me, they have a mile-long testimonies of all the wonderful things they're doing for people. So thank you for that, Robert. And thank you, Lily, for what you do, especially for the people who, are already frustrated and having such a hard time, and that's caregivers. So thank you for all of that. Okay, so you guys, guess what? The second annual Shine a Light Walk is on. If you haven't heard about our Shine a Light Walk, you need to hear about it. I'm here to tell you about it right now. So our Shine a Light Caregiver Walk is really about showing caregivers that we see them. Every light that a caregiver sees in our Shine a Light Walk is that inspiration that you're not alone, that we see you. And you don't have to sit there and be depressed in the darkness. I know I was there. I was in the darkness and I was depressed. I mean, I still deal with some of it now, right? Just like when I was talking with Dana earlier, you're still dealing with some of that guilt and the anger and the frustration, and you're tired. Well, Shine a Light, our charity walk, is here not just to raise funds, but mostly to encourage awareness that caregivers need support. And so each light shows that support. You need to register. The first 100 to register are going to get a free reflective backpack, and you're going to get your first glow stick to start you up. So it's all just a fun event. Get out, do it, plan for it. Go to gab808.org and click on the walk button. It's going to be at the Windward Mall the 22nd. That's the third Saturday of July, right here at Windward Mall. Go into Windward Mall from 5 to 8 o'clock, and we're just going to be having a lot of fun. We're going to have live music. There's going to be great giveaways. Oh, we're giving away a foot massager, so you might want to register for that as well. And you can't enter to win that unless you're registered. Once you register, you're entered into that giveaway. So go to gab808.org. Go and you can, if you want to get there faster, go to gab808.org/shine. And go ahead and register to do the walk. And if you can't make it, that's okay. You can do it virtually. You can do a virtual walk. And you can even get a team together to do a virtual walk. I think we have a car group that's going to be doing a drive. They're going to meet together and do a drive to fundraise. So we had last year a motorcycle team that came in, a club that came in, and they did a drive. They did a motorcycle drive all the way there. And so you can do all kinds of wonderful things. The whole point is to create awareness for caregivers and to have some fun and to just glow it up. All right, so check it out. We'd love to have you there. I can't wait to see everybody. I'm really excited for this year. So just get connected, and get into what we're doing. Get your subscription. All of that's in there. You'll always get all that information first before everybody else. And know that we have our sessions again, 8 o'clock every Tuesday. You can come on and join us. It's free. There's no charge for that. All right, our heartfelt guests, my heartfelt mahalo to all of our guests today who are just incredible. Thank you so much for being on and for sharing, because that's what we need to do. Sharing is caring, you guys. Next week, we're going to have Lonnie as my co-host, and also Susan Alden of Mind Body Aloha. Really interesting. And Marilyn Lamer with Innovate Nutrition. This is really cool, you guys. You need to find out about this. It's like a patch. It's so exciting. So join us next week. Set a reminder right on your phone right now to tune in every Wednesday live at noon to the Caring Caregiver Show. And if you want more information, go to caringcaregivershow.com. So mahalo again, and mahalo to our sponsors, Givers Guides. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's okay if you miss us live. Don't worry. You can always go on a podcast a week after each live performance on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google, any platform. We're there. Just search Caring Caregiver Show or go to our website, caringcaregivershow.com. And in the meantime, you guys, just remember to breathe. Take a deep breath. And here's hoping you're finding more joy in your caregiving each week here in the Caring Caregiver Show. Thanks for tuning in. And please, as always, be kind to yourself and especially to someone who's caring. Aloha.